I want to tell you a story about an event I went to support someone I've known for a while. They said a few things to me. One of the things they said to me was, you know what, nobody really supports me as an artist. And you see who your real friends are when you become an artist and you're trying to launch your own music. And I thought, okay, that's a fair point. To be honest with you, the most people that support you are usually people who are outside of your circle, people who don't know you, people who've never met you. So that is true. I'm not going to negate that fact. So I thought, let me go out and see if I can support this person because, hey, I've known them for a while and I actually haven't seen them perform. So I go to their event, right? And I'm the only person that's there who's pretty much there to support them. They go up and they perform, right? And it's pretty much just me and my phone and maybe one or two other guys who are literally like, one of the guys actually works there who's taking content, and me, and then another guy who's also an artist as well who's trying to support it. So basically, me, a content creator guy who's not really a fan, he's just there to create content, and then somebody else who's just at the event. So really, technically, it's only one fan, just me. Now, I want to talk to you about what happened before this event, during this event, and after this event, to show you what you should and what you shouldn't do as an artist to promote your music and to build a fan base. Number one, I reached out to her during the day and I asked her a question. Hey, what time are you performing? Crickets. Didn't hear a single word. So obviously now I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't want to go there too early and then basically wait there for hours if I've got things to do. I might have other things to do during the day. I don't want to go there too late either because I might miss the performance and then that would just kind of waste the whole evening. But anyway, I decided to take a chance and I decided to go pretty late, knowing that the venue kind of kicks off around about after midnight, right? So I got there. She tells me, she just got there like 20 minutes before I got there. Now, I got there probably around about 1:30 midnight, by the way. This is a club, right? Club type of venue. So she got there at 12. Now, imagine if I had got there at 11 o'clock and this person tells me I just got here at 12. Do you think I'd have hung around for 1 hour when you're not even there? You haven't told me that you're going to be late. You haven't told me when you're going to be performing. Why would I turn up? So that's the first thing, right? I always talk about how do you nurture an audience. First of all, you've got to treat the people that are here to support you like they're literally like your customers and your clients. If you opened up a store or shop today and somebody asks you a question, hey, what time are you open? Do you not answer them? This is one of the biggest problems that I see artists have, right? They have a channel or broadcast channel or create a WhatsApp group where they are constantly talking to their audience, but they don't allow their audience to talk back to them. It's a one-way conversation. I'm talking to you, I'm telling you about how I want to promote my music, and I don't care about what you want to say. So what that communicates is, I don't care about you, I don't care about your life, I only want you to support me. That's it, nothing else outside of that. I can tell you another story about another artist who has created a broadcast group where they were sharing things and sharing their posts, and I thought, okay, initially this is great, I don't mind that, I'll be added to that group. And then I opened up to them one time and I said, hey, why don't you try just opening up your channel so that we can actually talk to each other as fans? Because I don't know who anyone else is in this group. So even though I'm in this broadcast group, I still feel isolated. I don't feel the community. That artist flat out said, nah, that's not what that group is about. That's not what it's for. So I am your consumer, I'm your fan. I'm telling you, hey, I need more connection. I'm not getting enough connection. I don't feel like I'm in a community. And you as an artist tell me, that's not what this group is for. It's not for a community. It's actually for me to just spread my message and tell you what I'm doing. So you know what happened then? I thought, oh, okay, well, this person really doesn't want to hear what I have to say. So I'm going to stop engaging. Because for me, the whole purpose of building a fan base is to create community. Because you know what your fans do? When they share the connection between you and other people, it creates a bond. And when you have that bond between other fans through you, guess what? You become the conduit through which they become connected. So now anytime these people have a good meeting, a good feeling, a good event, and they know that they met each other through you, guess what? You've automatically become associated with that good feeling. They will then like you. So now the next time you ask them to do something for you, to show up somewhere for you, they're going to be more inclined to show up for you as well, because they think, hey, you know what? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have this wonderful community that I have. So to pay you back, I'm going to show up for your event. That's the second thing I'm going to say. Now, I want to talk about what happens during the event. I'm talking mostly about events here, but I'm also going to show you how you can also apply this to a real world or even a digital world kind of scenario as well. So you don't necessarily have to be doing events to make this work. Although, if you're doing events, I think it's one of the best ways to make money. Even if you're not making events, even if you're digital, if your fan base is somewhere else all over across the world, there's still a way for you to connect with them. So stick with me on this one. I'm going to get to connect to you as well in a minute. So the second thing I want to talk about is what happens when you've captured the communication. What happens when you capture someone's information? You've now got their attention, right? This is a very important currency. You've got their attention, you've captured their attention, you've successfully brought them into your broadcast channel. They've started to follow you, right? Now, what do you do then? The next thing is that you engage. So now that I'm there, cool, we're now performing. Okay, Before that person performs, they're nervous, I get it, they're trying to get into their zone, so they're not really talking that much to me. I'm letting them prepare themselves, and I'm kind of just letting them vibe and just kind of get into their own space, right? Soon after, she goes up and she performs, great, no problem, cool, I record. Now, what she could have done here to actually help herself, she could have asked me a question and say, T, do you mind recording me when I'm performing? Because you're here to support me, right? Of course, right? I'm here to support you, I would of course do that. But she didn't ask me to do that. Now, if she could just take herself out of her own mind for just a second and just start thinking to herself, this is someone that's here to support me. They might not know anyone else here. They might not have any friends here. So it's my job as the artist that's brought them here to make them feel comfortable about the space that they're in. But I'm a social person, so I make friends everywhere I go, and it's not a big deal for me to be alone. But if you have fans who are new fans of yours and they're coming into your world, you need to make sure that you make them feel comfortable in that venue. Make them feel comfortable wherever you are, because they might only just know you. So you have to reach out to them and treat them as if you're just a friend who's just hanging out with them. And then from this point on, she could have asked me, hey T, do you mind recording me while I perform, and then post it on social media and then tag me, etc, etc. Of course, now if you've become friends and we've been talking, etc, why wouldn't I do that? Of course I would do that. But because there's no rapport building, there's no connection here, right? You're not making me feel like I want to do that for you. This applies to whether you're a male or female artist, by the way. So don't think that you have to be a male or female artist. And by the way, I'm going to tell you what another artist did on the same night as well, because there were loads of artists who were performing. So in contrast to that, there was another male artist who was there. I didn't know him at all. He then asked me, hey, what do you do? Are you a singer as well? And I said, no, I'm not a singer, but I'm into the music industry. And then he asked me several questions. We started talking a little bit. We exchanged phone numbers and we exchanged contacts. He takes my Instagram, I take his Instagram. And guess what? That's another person added to his network, right? Now that person spoke to me actually a lot more, or rather initiated a conversation with me, made me want to know his story. He did the right things, and also he was more outgoing. Now, of course, it's easier because I'm a guy, he's a guy, easier for us to communicate together, no problems, right? But this shows you the difference between when somebody reaches out to you and initiates and starts communicating with you. That is so powerful. Don't ever underestimate the power of that, having that connection. I always say to independent artists, what is the one thing that you can give to your fans that someone who's famous can't give to your fans? What's the one thing that you can give to your fans that somebody like a Chris Brown or Beyonce or Rihanna or Taylor Swift, what is the one that you can give to your fans that these superstars can't give? It's connection, right? Genuine connection. Let me just rephrase that. If you notice something, Chris Brown did something very, very powerful while he was doing his concerts. He created a meet and greet. Why did he create that meet and greet? Because he creates a personal connection. Now, Chris made loads of money from that. I think contractually as well, it also makes it separate from his performance. So that becomes part of his personal earnings. So he's just kind of monetizing that in a very, very different way. Now, if you want to learn how to monetize your music and how to monetize this connection, stick around. We've got more information for you as well, how you can do that using our platform. You can also click the link to follow that and see more about how to use our platform and our dashboard, because it allows you to actually monetize your audience in a very powerful way, digitally as well as physically as well. But let's go back to the story, because there's a very powerful lesson in this. After the performance, everything's gone well. She's performed. There's no one really supporting this person apart from maybe 3 people, right? From what I can tell, I'm the only person that's standing there holding the phone. There's a content guy who's holding this camera, and there's another guy who's also a performer. I think he maybe works for the club, who's really active and is really kind of trying to hype the situation up, basically, because she's so isolated on the stage. I'm going to talk to you, if you're a female artist as well, I'm going to talk to you about how you build a better fan base, because your fan base is probably different to the male fan base, and you have to really create a specific target demographic that you cater to constantly, right? So here's a tip. If you're a female artist and you're trying to create music, my advice to you is you should try to appeal to the female audience, not to the male audience. I think sometimes there's some confusion about, oh, well, if I'm a female, right, and I show my body, that means that men are going to pay attention to me. Yes, you're right. Men are going to pay attention to you, but they're probably going to pay attention to you for the wrong reasons, not for your music. Now, depending on which niche you're on, which genre you're on in terms of like the music that you make, you might actually become even more specific. So for example, if you're an R&B soul artist, or even a rapper, for example, right? Let's take, for example, your Cardi B's, or your Meg Thee Stallion, or even your SZA. These are 3 different artists who are in almost 3 different genres per se, right? Taylor Swift, for example. They call them Swifties, Beyonce's Beehive. These are women who are targeting other women for their marketing. They're not appealing to men. Why? Because the men don't matter. So if you're positioning yourself as a sex symbol, but you want to direct that marketing to the male gaze, you're actually mistaken. You're actually doing something that's wrong, and that'll actually hurt your marketing. Why? Because those men probably have their girlfriends with them, and if they don't, the girls are probably watching that thinking, well, oh, this person's actually taking their attention away from me to pay attention to them. All these men are drooling over her. So naturally, subconsciously, all the women are going to start to dislike you, because they're thinking you're competing with them for the male attention. You don't ever want to do that, right? So you need to kind of start to appeal to the demographic that matters the most to you. So if you're a female, appeal to the women, because the women are the ones who are going to be supporting you. Women actually are the ones who are most likely to come and show up to your event and then bring their boyfriends with them. And even then, you still want to direct your marketing to that female audience because that's the audience that really supports you, right? So again, look at those things, think about your demographics and think about who's the real consumer of our music. Think also about who's going to show up for me at an event. Now, as we know, when it comes to concerts and events, I think women tend to be the highest spender when it comes to events. So it's always a good shout to spend money and target the female demographic if you are a male or female artist, right? And I see male artists doing this a lot, by the way. It actually works. Just because of the group effect, most men don't want to be groupies in that sense, right? So that's a free tip there. I'm going to talk more about specific tips on marketing. We're actually going to go into 7 core principles that I believe you need to master as well before you start to even think about releasing your music and distributing your music out there. There's certain things that you need to have in place. So now let's go forward and let's wrap this story up. Now, the event happened, I'm there and I'm just, as I said, I'm a bit bored. This person, I can tell they're not really, what can I say, outgoing enough. They're not really necessarily creating a vibe or a buzz between them and their audience, not even me. Like, I'm there to support her and the person is not really talking to me that much. So maybe you may be introverted. But then if you're introverted, you have to find out the space of, like, this is my space, this is the space that I like to work in. Work with other people then. That might help you to come out of your shell. Get friends that are around you to come out and support you. You can have a comfort space, comfort zone, even in a large area with a very small group, but you need to just figure out how to do that. Now, here's the harsh truth. If you want to be an artist, you cannot run away from the business of actually meeting your fans, shaking hands, and being welcoming to those fans. You can't now separate that and go, no, my music is separate, but me as a person, I want to create this barrier between me and you. Whether it's digital or it's in person, you have to offer some form of connection in some sort of way. How you decide to do that is now up to you. If you're an introverted person, you can decide, maybe I feel safer in the digital realm, I'm gonna do that digitally. That just means you have to do a lot more work to do what I'm doing right now, editing this content here, recording it, and then piecing it together, and then showing up for my audience in a different way. But if you're also doing it in person, you might actually have to think differently about how you do it, what kind of venue you choose. Are you going to choose an intimate venue where you perform maybe for 20, 50, 100 people? Or are you the extroverted type of person who likes to have hundreds and thousands of people around you? That's something that's based on your personality and how you like to relate to your audience as well. So you really have to get into the zone and really figure out, like, who am I as an artist? How do I like to position myself? What is more authentic to me with my brand, how I perform and how I relate to my audience? Because if you get that image clear, now you understand exactly the type of fan that you want in your circle. Because if you have people who are very loud, you might not like those kind of people. You might not like to be around those kind of people. Maybe those are not your type of fans that you want. But if you are performing in a very intimate environment, maybe you want the quiet type of environment. Find a more soulful place that you're going to perform at. You're going to draw those kind of people who are also maybe more soulful and more relaxed, right? So really figure out, like, what is your persona? What is your brand? We're going to talk a little bit more about persona and brand as well and how you can really hone into that. But once you figure that out, then you can really narrow into what your target demographic is. Because, hey, listen, I love all music, but I know that you as an artist, sometimes you might think my music is for everyone. I don't really think that's ever the case. When we're marketing this platform to you guys, we don't say this platform is for all musicians. In fact, we say it's for musicians who are ready to do the work and who are ready to actually learn more about marketing their music in the best way forward. So if that's you and you're an artist and you're trying to learn how to understand your brand, how to market your music better, how to distribute your music in a smarter way without necessarily guessing, then I want you to sign up to 7th Century Music. Become a 7th Century artist. Sign up to the artist dashboard. We're going to be doing a lot more learning and a lot more educating of you guys there. We have weekly calls as well, where we speak to artists like yourself, where we can troubleshoot some of the problems that you're having, and we can hone in on why maybe things like your marketing aren't really working so well for you, and looking at how you can monetize your music into becoming a career. So if that's you, sign up here, click on the link to join the Artist Hub, join the community as well, and I'll see you there. But before you do that, I'm gonna finish off the story, right? Because no story is complete without a good ending. So anyway, we're there, the girl performs, and I'm thinking, I'm tired, I just wanna go home. It's almost 3 a.m. and I'm thinking, okay, I've been talking to friends of mine and I'm just about to go home because, really there's nothing more for me to do here. I say to this artist, hey, I'm about to shoot off. And the person goes, thumbs up. Doesn't stand up to say, hey, thank you so much. I'm so thankful you showed up. My next show is this and that. Here's where I'm performing this. Make sure you follow me. Can you post those videos? Can you send me those videos? Can you maintain that connection? They don't do that. I stand up and I go, right? I'm left feeling like, well, that was a waste of time, right? Why did I even show up? It's wasted money. It would have been better, in fact, if I just stayed at home and ordered some takeaway. I would have saved money, bought the food that I want to eat, and watched a good movie. You don't ever want to leave your audience feeling like they're wasted money, let alone wasting time. But wasting money and time, you're in a very bad state. So After that, I also waited a day just to see if this person would follow up and say, hey, thank you so much for showing up to my show. I really appreciate you being there. It meant a lot to me. Would you please kind of make sure that you support me, tag me wherever you post that content, and show some love and share with your friends as well. This is how artists lose fans. You don't build the relationship. You don't nurture the relationship. You don't have any aftercare. It feels like a one-night stand. I feel used, right? Nobody likes to feel used. So if that's you and you're an artist and you treat your fans like a one-night stand, you're just something I'm going to do one time, I'm going to take care of you one time, and then I'm going to dash you away and to get more fans. You're always concentrating about getting more numbers, but never concentrating on keeping the people that you are with happy. Because hey, guess what? If this one person had a great experience, if I had a great experience, the next time you're performing, guess what I'm doing? I'm bringing 2 or 3 or 5 of my friends. Right? And if they have a great time, guess what they're doing? Oh, they're bringing 2 or 3 or 5 of their friends. And so this is really important, because in contrast, there was another artist who was there, who was way bigger, much more successful, I could tell, with a much more experience. And when he stood up and he started singing, people were surrounding him basically, right? And he must have been a bigger name. But here's the funny part. I stood up and I went to greet him one time, and he was so humble. You would have just thought I was just talking to my friend. He was just kind of saying, oh yeah, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that so much. I don't know this guy. But when I saw him and he spoke to me that way, I was like, I want to know who this guy is. I want to follow this guy because I've seen him perform now. I've seen the vibe that was around him. Everyone was around him was having a good time. If I'm one person within that group who's vibing with those people, guess what? I now also have friends because you have brought me into your circle and your community. Don't underestimate how powerful community is, guys. I'm not even joking. Community is one of the most powerful things you could ever nurture in your industry as an artist. So I want to say this. Before you become a big star, even when you become a big star, if you want to really do music seriously, if you want to become a serious artist and not a hobbyist, make sure that you have the right mindset as to how you develop relationships with your fans so that you can actually create a community of people who are there to support you. So when you ask them for help, when you ask them to show up, they actually do show up instead of just kind of being there and just kind of watching you and thinking, I don't want to waste my time again with this artist. So I hope that's not you. But if that's you, never fear, it's not the end. We're here to learn, we're here to grow, we're here to learn and grow with you. And if you want to learn more about how to grow, how to change your mindset, how to change the belief systems that you have around making your music and marketing your music, I've got a lot more stories to tell you about how to distribute your music and market it. I'm going to say that for a little bit later. But if that's you, I want you to stick around and watch the next couple of videos that I have, which are going to be talking specifically about subjects like your songwriting, your production, your marketing, your mixing and mastering, your engineering, and all kinds of stuff, all the way up to fulfillment, because fulfillment is about how artists feel fulfilled in themselves, but also how you help your fans feel fulfilled as well as they support you. So if that's you, stick around, click the link to watch the next video, make sure you subscribe, join the community, sign up and create your account in the Artist Hub as well. Start distributing your music with 7th Century Music. So if that's you, and you want to learn more, you want to become a better artist, you want to learn how to monetize your music and have a proper music career, then stick around. I've got more in store for you. I would love to see you in the community as well. We meet up every week. We chat to artists like yourself, we troubleshoot problems, and we figure out how we can make you a better artist. If that's you, make sure you sign up, join the community. Watch the next video as well, guys. Stick around. I've got more cool stuff to show you. So watch the next video as well, and we'll talk more about how we can get your music out there. All right, I'll see you there.